So he goes, think, Gaz, think. So he has a cutting gas in this one. Hey, when I made that video, guys, people thought I was crazy for thinking running Tactical Brigade, Gaz and Tactical Brigade. Right? What other channels did you see? People were like, "Yeah, you're going to see Gaz on Tactical." No one was saying that. No one was saying. People were saying that it was going to happen with Warhorde, right? No one was really like they're going to say with Gaz. I got you. And so did this crazy gear. So we have a Beast Boss followed by a Big Mek in Mega Armor with Met. Then we have a Big Mek with Shock Attack Gun, followed by Boss Snikrot. Dang, Boss Snikrot finding his way on the list again. Dude, why is it? What's going on there? Very expensive list loadout, guys, right? I'm someone who's not into that all the time, but you can see there's going to be a price, which is always like the good and the bad with Tactical Brigade, right? So Boss Snikrot, then we have Ghazghkull Thraka, followed by Zodgrod Wortsnagga. Still, we get Zodgrod with questions on Zod all the time. And in this detachment, you know, you're already paying for expensive stuff, so Zod might give you a little discount on some speed and some mobs. Then we get a Beast Boss, one unit of Beast Snagga Boys for that one individual Beast Boss. Very cool to see that you still want to take advantage of the sustain and the Bakari or lethal aura. Very cool little tech there. We have Storm Boys, 2 of those 5 units that are battle line. Remember, they also have the stratagem to get picked up. 1 truck, followed by 1 battle wagon with the Zap cannon, 1 big brick of Flash Gitz, of course, for the mech captain, 1 Gretchen minimum size unit, and then 1 big brick of Gretchen for Zod. Then we have the Mandos. They did have all the fixins, so they have a rocket, they have 2 shooters, they have burners, they have breacher ram. So if you're wondering how this works, you, as the general of the army during the deployments, reserve step, the army deployment step and such, you get to decide when you break this apart what war gear goes where, right? So the actual bomb squig is a piece of war gear, so you're going to throw that on somebody, right? So one of those 5-man units is going to have the bomb squig and the distraction grot. So we're going to have 1 unit that has both of those, so it has some staying, some, you know, more value, and then all the other ones in another one. But in this case, you could say I'm going to put my rocket and my burners and my custom shooters in one, and then my breaches and my flame and my slugger guys and chopper boys. So that's the fun part about that. Yes, you get to pick it up. People ask it all the time. That's how that works. Then we have a Luda brick. Again, Luda brick making its comeback, and it's always in question. I'm one of the people who questions that. I go, Luda's in Tactical Brigade. I'm one of those people now that brings it up. You do get long lines of fire. You do get the +1 to hit, and then re-roll the hit roll. So Big Mek with Shock Attack Gun sitting there looking at the Ludas. Interesting tech piece there, or they're with the Tank Buster. Then we have the big 10-man unit of Nobz with that one as well. So remember, when you have a battle wagon like this, you can fit what we like to call blitz brigades in there, where you can stick, you know, even if you don't want to stick Gaz in there, some people would say you could just go ahead and stick Gaz in there, but Gaz and the Nobz would take up 15 slots. That means you still have 7 slots left. That's enough for a tank buster unit and a Big Mek with shock attack gun. That's enough for 5 of the Mandos to get in there and be a little weirdos sitting inside the truck. But typically, that's how I see that's going to work. Where you're going to have tank busters there, or oh, he said Mek was at the Lootas. Is that what was happening there? Is that what's up? If Vinny's in chat, was that you? It's looking a crazy get. What's up? Oh, here he goes. He says in the general chat. Yeah, what's up, Vinny? Shout out to you. Whoa, the Vinny in the chat, and your squig looks like mine in that little in that picture. So he actually said tank busters run their own, Mek with the Lootas. Okay, I like to see that. And you can still give them orders, right? Hypothetically, you can still give them orders from someone else, like Gaz or something. So he said I was right, I guess. So well, yeah, you ran it though, right? Right in theory and right in actually utility using it is a different thing. So great job by you. Yeah, and then we have a truck, 1 truck, most likely with the Beast Bosses, and the Beast Snagga Boy. Sorry, they could go with the Beast Boss Snagga Boys, or those guys go in reserve, and you can put the 10-man unit Flash Gitz in there, right? Up to you guys. Not sure exactly. He's in chat. He'll let us know how he did it. But typically, 1 truck good enough to get the Flash Gitz up the field where they need to go, or the Beast Bosses, or you just take advantage of reserves. That's one thing I like about that detachment, is that people actually use reserves a lot more because you're paying for so much stuff. You end up getting kind of light on characters. Light on transports. You end up getting kind of light on transports for that. He said he was using, oh, that's awesome. He said he was using Snikrot to give orders. Yeah, guys, remember Snikrot, because of the wording and of his data sheet and the wording of the actual data sheet, detachment ability, when he does move in the movement phase, he can yell order at someone. Now, he can't do 2 orders, so he's not going to do it in a command phase and then again when he gets redeployed. But when he gets redeployed, he can yell an order at that point. So he can give people that up to the field. So I love to see that. That's very fun. That was always fun to see in theory, but Vicente was the first person to actually do it. So very exciting to see. I hope you guys are happy with your vote, since that was what some kind of get going on there. Another thing to check out is our sponsor, the Baron of Dice. They make high quality custom dice. If you enjoy our content and want to show some love, check out the Baron of Dice custom dice, including Waaagh Tactics official dice. To support us, use our discount code in the description for 5% off, because nobody likes taxes. Let's take a look at his path to victory. So he starts off with a big 100-point win against the Tyranid's Vanguard Onslaught. So double Broodlord, one Death Leaper, one Hyper Adaptive Ravner unit, some Nero Tyrants, and then the Swarm Lord. Biovore, triple Gene Stealers, one big brick of Hive Guard, followed by two small Hive Guard units, two Lictors, a big 20-man unit of Neurogaunts, a Neurolictor, some Pyrovores, Ravners, and then two units of Reaper. So this is a very much in-your-face onslaught. Is very literal, where they want to turn one, run up and charge you. These guys, alongside their little Gene Stealer homies, they can get dev wounds, box you in, throw some more trash in you, take up the mid-table, make you take battle shock. Typically quite annoying if you're an orc when you're taking an oath. In that case, when you're taking an oath, when they can make you take Shadow of the Warp on your Waaagh go turn. But clearly he just had all the utility to kill everything. Between using your Flash Gitz in that case, your Snagga boys, if they want to meet you with pressure in combat, you have combined arms assets. A lot of these guys are soft targets, and you're going to be able to use combined arms assets into them. So you're going to be able to shoot them, charge them, fight them, pick them up, run Zod at them. Zod holds them in place if he wants to as well, to counteract them, turn off their primary. So very pressuring. He just ended up annihilating that army with the 100-point win. Shout out to you. Plus the infiltration that he has, right? So even if he could use his infiltration, right? Because as we were looking here, like he was saying, he did use his Mandos, and they're split up to do two different units. So it could be some sneaky cunning stuff where, like, Snikrot, not saying this happened in this game, just saying in general, guys, right? We're having fun here. Snikrot could yell orders based off how he said he was using this list. Snikrot could yell orders to a little small unit of Mandos, give them +1 to hit on their guns for the Daka unit, and then they start making it rain. So it's very fun to see that, and that's how he said he was using it, according to what he's saying in chat right now. So shout out to you, Git. Then we go on to his second unit, which we still have Gaz, right? And remember, he has Gaz with 10. I went over this too lightly. Sorry, guys. I shouldn't have done that. He took Gaz with 10 knobs. Right? Because I'm pretty sure that's what we're talking about here. He took 10 with Gaz with 10 knobs. That's crazy. So you're gonna have -1 to wound, -1 to hit, because remember, Gaz does not have the mega knob or mega armor, whatever keyword. So he can give the orders of stealth to that unit. So he's giving that unit stealth. He could decide to give that unit +1 strength for some reason if he ever had. So the unit can get up to strength 11 and +1 to wound with +1 to hit. He can choose to pop sustain to give them all sustain critical 5+. And then, of course, the unit can fall back and charge if for some reason it's even still in a fight with somebody for any reason. And you can give the unit more OC, so it can act like a boy unit for flipping primary after just completely annihilated someone, try to sit an objective and try to tank the damage. So I didn't want to overlook that. Really fun piece right there. I think when at least according to the Waaagh Tactics Discord, no, I was kidding. But according to the poll we put out in the Discord, that was actually seen as the least, one of the least, like number 3 or 4 of appealing of the combos. But there was always, gits that were out there saying, I'm taking that. And it's because, like he said, that was a nuclear bomb that he was taking off on people. And he would just try to take reroll charges too. So awesome to see. Like what we say around here, guys, when we show this stuff off, it's for you to pick it according to how you like it, right? So even though everybody in the meta was talking about boys and Mac and we got Big Mek and the boys and the wall balls, I understand that's great. Made a video about that too. But we're seeing a lot of pain boys out there, people taking Nobz and Gaz, like some crazy gets out there and just dropping nukes on people. So love to see it. So let's go into his second game, where he gets to a tough scrap where he goes into Adeptus mechanicus with Cybernetica. So we have Call, Data Smith, Tech Engines here, 3 units of Rangers, 1 Doomstalker, 1 unit of big robots. I haven't seen that. Onager Doomcrawler, some Sky Stalkers, 2 Infiltrators, 2 Ruststalkers, triple Disintegrators. Boom. So Disintegrators now, right? They have like strength, I think it's 12 or 14, and they also have like strength 9 guns. They have some quite devastating weapons considering the Disintegrators, and rerolling hits would make them way more effective as that. Ruststalkers, little fast T4 guys, they can get good trades out of you and get some good pressure and killing killing your soft targets, so that could be problematic. What's cool about Adamek is how they work independently in little units that don't need characters to work and operate. So they're good in their utilities. They're even solid with their speed. They're some shooting. They have a little bit of fighting. They have good screening. And then if this is Cybernetica, that's not the one where you pick two different abilities. I was, I'm getting more familiar with them because I've had a couple more games with them. But nonetheless, he ended up getting this one with a 61-point win. Not sure what the mission was and such, but they do have a lot of trash, a lot of stuff can get in your way, and if you expose any of your soft targets, they can kill you. So like even their little sorry, I should have pulled that up sooner. Where's that little tank that they have? Right, this little Onager Doomcrawler, for example. This one's pretty decent for them because it has a 4-up invuln and it's T10, right? And then a 2-up armor save. So this is good enough to pop trucks, kill infantry, can't really leave it untouched on the field necessarily. So it'll draw out your tank busters, and then in that case, the disintegrators will respond. So you can't play that linear, just I'm going to expose tit for tat with you because they have a lot of trading stuff. You have to kill multiple units sometimes with one unit. Be smart with your flash gits, be smart with your staging, with your orders, with your stealth would be nice because then only one unit died like that. So one unit can only get oath, so the other units would be harder to kill with that. So great job there. 61-point dub there. He said he was a cunning get that game. Very sneaky. And so then we go to his third game, where this is where he actually ends up taking his loss, which is into the Ultramarine. So we have Iron Storm Spearhead, so a tank heavy list. We have Rabute Gilliman, Lieutenant with combi weapons, Tech Marine, one heavy intercessor squad, an eliminator, an incursor, one infiltrator squad, a scout, one dreadnought, followed by a lancer, predator destructor, one redemptor dreadnought, and a repulsor executioner, and a storm speeder strike. Yeah, it's cool when the generals are in chat, right? Love to see that. That's why we like doing them honorable mentions. And that was organic. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here, Vinny, because they voted for you and you're here for the people. Crazy git. And you hit me up in Discord or Facebook so we can chat sometime too. But as you can see here, this is a very armor heavy list. He didn't spam tank busters, even though I'm a fan of Lootas. Lootas could still suffer to these 2-up armor save type of units and not really get their favorite targets on the field. And nonetheless, I'm not really sure where the Nobz, his big knob missile ended up on this. I'm trying to look at what else he has on this list. Incursor eliminators. And then the Tech Marines. Then you got Gilliman as well. So he's getting double oath. All these vehicles have some firepower to actually pop the transports and kill his more elite infantry. Let me look at his list one more time to see what I was looking at here. Ooh, because typically you look at his infiltrators and you're like, well, I can use my infiltrators to kind of bait some stuff out. Not in this game, right? Like a lot of you could end up shooting stuff up. Yeah, he said in this case he just made some wrong charges, and I can see it's also that you make one mistake like that where you just make some unvaluable charges, and the amount of tanks that this guy just has on this list and firepower and such means that you're just gonna end up losing all of your small units. Double oath means it's more reliably happening. Something like your little Mandos, which typically would be kind of annoying, or like, okay, I'll just pick them real quick and then I'll pick something else to it's like, okay, in that case, they might end up killing 3 things a turn. Gotta be a real cunning get. In this case, he just ended up jumping off some objectives, he said, when he wasn't supposed to, and some charges. So it's harsh when you lose. It's harsh when you lose with such a high score. He did say that he did end up getting to all his tanks by turn 3. So shout out to him by that. Love to see that. And then Rabute Gilliman, he says that he got too bloodthirsty trying to kill Rabute Gilliman, got off that objective. But still a winnable game. I think Orks do have good play into Space Marines. Most of the time we're winning them quite effectively. And we can kind of pick their soft targets and chew them up. And when our 2 anti-tank units do get into their tanks, they get kind of rolled up and folded over. Everything other than like a Redemptor Dreadnought. But we see he had gas, so Dreadnought is getting ultimately smushed. So great job there. And still scoring high, but sadly, still ended up, it feels kind of decent when you get a high score on your loss. Like you're like, all right, I did my best, but dang, it's just a little bit mistake off from pulling that through. So good spirits by you, great job, Vicente. And then nonetheless, so he moves on to get another dub here. We're on round 4. He goes into demons. Ooh, okay, man. Ooh, we looked at that demon math, guys. Well, Nobz are crumping all of this. So we have Be'lakor, the great unclean one, with endless gifts. So even with that feel no pain, we did the math on this. He's crumping that too. He has a good chance of it at least. Lord of Change, Radagast, Slilac. So any of these demons are getting clapped by Gaz and the Nobz. But you don't have to kill the great unclean one like we always talk about. You don't have to go for this hardest target. You can cover everything. So double Nurglings, a Plague Bearer unit, double Beast of Nurgles, some Flamers, some Flesh Hounds, and then a Carnivore. So he said he didn't end up getting everything else to get killed in that game. He said he did kill one big git, which was Be'lakor. Be'lakor is tough though, right? Which we put the Be'lakor math on it. He's at 375. So you only got one gas missile. Seems like everybody else kind of let him down nonetheless. But Orks have a good way of winning the mission, and like we talk about as Orks all the time, if there's enemy hard targets on the field, you go for their soft target. You pick up everything they're using for secondaries, using everything for their scoring, and just holding them on their side of the field, not letting them get onto objectives with multiple units, and hoping you just OC them with their big monsters best. And that's been quite reliable results for Orks done for like the entire edition. So magic for us. So great job there playing, because he like we've seen through his other stat strategy and how his Git was playing, he knows how to play the mission, so he played the mission real good there. That's where Zod feels good in that game, right? In my opinion, you have Zod automatically turning off their primaries, and it was linchpin. There you go, heck yeah. Then we go into his game 5, which was Grey Knights Warband Task Force. So we have Castles and Crow, Librarian, Brotherhoods, 2 of them, 1 Grandmaster Knight, Brotherhood Terminator, Strike Squad, Inceptors, 10 Purifiers, 5 Purifiers, and then Canis Rex. Okay, Git. All right, dude, that meta pass. Go away. No, I'm just kidding. And then he got a Cladius Assassin. So this is another one where no one is necessarily a soft target because everybody is a 2-up armor save. What is nice for us is they can only do it for 1 target. So trying to bait that out obviously will help you in some cases. I'm gonna get rid of some of these tabs. I got too many of these tabs up on this field. You would be happy that you got tank buses, that you actually have a couple looters for some shooting. Infiltrators feel good because these gets have like their scouting potential, so they'll like run up, scout something sticky, and then run away. So having Mandos can hold that too. But what's funny based off of Vinny said is somehow Canis died turn 1. So enough said. No, I'm just kidding. He got into Canis, blew him off the field, ended up scoring a 100-point win there. If he lets you get Canis, maybe he'll search and destroy. He thought Canis was someone else. I don't know what it was, but I'm sure the Nobz and Gaz just absolutely nuked him. I'm sure you were grinning with glee, collecting them teeth off the floor after they annihilated him. So I love it. That's freaking hilarious. If they let you do that, right? I think some people misunderstand how when you disembark from the wagon, Gaz's base is actually 4 inches, and if the rules allow that Gaz can get out, so Gaz gets out a little closer than you. Advance and charges forward, and then just gets stuck in and missiles you, and he's infantry, so he can run through buildings. So great job there. Then we go into his last game, which was into Space Marines, a Black Templar. So we have a captain, Castellans, double them, Emperor's Champion, Lieutenant with combi weapons, and then double marshals. Always have these guys are the great little missiles army. So we have double assault intercessor squads, 1 normal intercessor squad, impulsor, 1 assault intercessor with jump pack, 2 ballistas dreadnoughts, a repulsor executioners, 2 of them, double sword brethren, and a Cladius assassin for the stratagem gets. Now, this is a sort of matchup where you absolutely normally rely heavily on fight on death, but because you got the DACA, all of these, like that's one thing, all of these super missile units highly susceptible to the Flash Gitz Overwatch, nonetheless, absolutely destroying them as well. All these guys are getting crumped by Gaz and the Gitz. All his firepower is like mono phase. So if they're getting stealth, you have 5-up info, make some saves here that they're not going to come in and charge you either. So he's coming at you in waves. His mono phase combat, a couple melee little missiles are coming forward. His big guns are in the back. So once you either bait them out, you use Zod either to try to tar pit his natural. He's going to end up trying to use one of his missiles to bait it out. You might even tar pit his actual vehicles in that sense as well. And then if you do, then it's like, well, you don't get to get in the firing lanes. But he's saying in this case, he felt really good because he said in this mission, he felt like it was a lot of luck. he had to engage on all fronts, and he he got engaged on all fronts, and he barely had it 2 units, so he got that point happy. And he said, yeah, he did use the dreadnoughts, did get stuck in place by the Grots. So obviously, like we always say, missions do matter, matchups matter. That's why we look at the path to victory. So humble of him to say that it was good on him. He felt happy to have the win on that one based off the matchup. But again, he did have the tools built into his list to get into position, to shoot his bad targets away, to pop the enemy trans vehicles, and to get some good fights in. So nonetheless, great job. And like he said, he stole the enemy's home. He said Anna stole his home. That's why we got Grots, baby, and you got Storm Boys and all that stuff, and the additional OC. So great job there. Love to see it. Let's take a look at his list one more time for this great get. We have a Beast Boss, Big Mek and Mega Armor with Mech Captain, Big Mek Shock Attack Gun, Boss Snikrot, Ghazghkull Thraka, and then Zodgrod with all the shenanigans. We have a Beast Boss, Double Storm Boys Battleline, 1 truck, 1 wagon, 10 Flash Gitz, 2 Gretchen, 110, 120. The Mandos with all the fixing in the gear. Love to see that. That cunning get. He was jumping Snikrot around, giving orders, infiltrating, yelling orders. Gaz is still around there to yell orders. That's fun. 1 Ludabrick with the big Mek with shock attack gun. Gaz with the Nobz. Let's go. And then the tank Busta sitting solo with no characters. And then he had the Blitz Brigade wagon sitting up in the center of the field. So great job to that get. If you enjoyed the clip, check out the full video here. If you'd like to see more tactics, click here.
Let's get stuck in, lads!